Hello, Akko here again. Welcome back to FTB Unleashed. We've got a lot of things to get through in today's episode. One thing I want to just cover at the start is I've noticed in a couple of videos lately I've been a little bit of a background noise. I think it's a fan in my bedroom when it's being pointed at me. So I pointed the fan away. I just did a little test recording and it seems okay now. So I apologise if that's been irritating you. I didn't really notice it until the video was already up. But yeah, so I need to make sure my fan's not pointing towards the mic, because it's still like an oven in England. The problem is it's not cooling down on a night much, so it's normally, if it's nice and warm during the day, it cools off on a night nice. Anyway, another thing is, after a video the other day, Russ sent me a nice message saying that def counters are available in 1.5. So I looked at the bit of the commands he gave me and I didn't really do it right, so I had a little look for a video, and I found a video by a guy called Buffercraft. I just did a search for Minecraft def counters, and off that I got a couple of commands, and the first one is that one there. I did this before yesterday's episode, which is why you see that error message there, because I've already done this. That's the first line you need. Scoreboard objectives, add def count, so that just gives def count the name, the name defs, just assigns it, I guess. And then scoreboard objectives, set display list that defs, so that's using that for the display. So what that gives us is, when I press tab, because I'm on a server of course, even though it's just a little single player server for me, I've got a little 0 there because I've not died since I put it on. But now every time I die, that def count will go up. So we'll see how many defs I get from here on in. It's a shame I didn't know about that at the start of the server. I'd have put that on at the start. Any server I start from now on is probably going to get that. So yeah, that's a nice little touch. What we're going to do in today's episode is I need somewhere to start storing power, so I'm going to be looking at making redstone energy cells. Redstone energy cells is going to need quite a few things. We're going to need lead, which the smeltery can't do. We're going to need electrum ingots, which we need an induction smelter for. We're going to need an energy cell frame, which needs hardened glass, which needs an induction smelter as well. It also needs a pulverized obsidian, which needs a pulverizer. So basically what we're going to make is pulverizer, powered furnace, induction smelter, magma crucible, liquid transposer. So almost a full set. So yeah, I'm going to get on making that. So I'm going to make some of the I'm going to get some of the first bits made off camera, and then I'm going to start putting all that stuff together. What I think I'm going to do is let's start with that. Let's make a work table from forestry. A book, a crafting table and a chest. It's easy enough, isn't it? Let's start with that and then we can remember the things that we put in there. So oh, there we go. Book, chest, work table. I said that completely wrong compared to what I was actually picking up. Now something I wanted to do in this series is not use any quarries. That's just all them bees there just reminded me, and I'm going to struggle for rocky bees if I don't do any quarries, aren't I? That might be an issue. Right, so work table. I kind of quite like this work table now I'm used to using it. I'm going to put that just there for now, screw it. So the first thing we're going to want to make is we're going to want to make a pattern for some of them, some of that. Put all them in there. We're going to want to make a pattern for the machine frames. I'm going to want some of them, so I'll make one, and then right click on that and lock the pattern in there. So this work table is just going to be thermal expansion stuff. Clear all that out. So that's what happens with a work table is, if you've not seen it before, it's a bit like a Red Power 2 project table, but when you make something, the last 8 things it makes, it remembers. So as long as you've got materials, you can make them again. If you right click it, it locks a thing in there, so that thing will stay in there. So if I didn't lock them, the 9th thing I make would knock the machine frame off. Now if I lock everything, the 9th thing I make won't get added, or if I leave some unlocked, then the 9th thing becomes that one. So that's pretty cool. What else are we going to need for that? We're going to need cobble and wood. Could do with a bit of wood turning into logs, couldn't I? Let's just 16 for now. Get a stack of wood in there, and I'm going to want some pistons. I'm going to add pistons to this little thing here. Oops, I need to press that. So we've got a piston, so that gets added as well. So now if I wanted to make a machine frame, I have to click on machine frame there, because it's got all the bits. I can make another machine frame, see. Pretty cool, nice little work table there. That's from forestry. I should actually, I just reminded myself when I looked in some of my chests, you might see my chests are all full of crazy stuff. I spent lots of hours yesterday. I spent far too long in it, to be honest. You can see how much damage my pick's got there. I've gone through loads of these force mitts, and that reminds me, force mitts. I used these buckets of force in that force engine yesterday. Force mitts, when you break your force mitts, you get these things. Force shards. So if you say, for example, you make... God, side tracks, just keep sidetracking on top of side tracks. Now I've got no gold at the minute. That's maybe an issue. I've got some in the smeltery actually, so that should be alright. See if I made 2 force ingots, then made them into 2 sets of force mitts. When your force mitts die, you get these force shards, and you see it says there 4mg a tick in a force engine. What that means is, you put a force shard in there, it gives you a bucket's worth of force. So make sure you, when you break your force mitts, you collect them, because they're quite useful. I've got 46 there, so that's like 46 buckets on top of them buckets there that I've got. So I've got a lot of force energy to use, and I need to make sure I've got plenty of milk in there when I do that as well. I spent a lot of time yesterday, far more time than I should have, up here, and I've gone crazy. I've made a massive set of farms. I've got 9x9 farms, each one with a lily pad facility in. So lily pad facility took me a bit of making as well. So I'll show you how you make that in a minute. But I've got wheat, potatoes, carrots, netherwort. Now I'm not sure if the lily pad facility actually works in netherwort, but I put it in there anyway. I keep meaning to check on a forum just to see if that works or not. And then I see 2 crops with reeds, pumpkins, and melons. And here I've got the cotton plants, which I'm not sure if the harvester is going to work on them when we set up a harvester. And then in the middle here I've got one left for cocoa, which I can't get yet because I can't find any cocoa hills. So this took me far longer than it should have, because I've done it all by hand. And over here I've got some sakura wood, which grows really quick, and that's got a lily pad there. I'm not sure it works on trees either, so I do need to check that. So this is where my tree farm's going to be, and it looks kind of nice from up here. Everything's going to be hidden underground, and that's where I started. If you come down here, you can see that you can get around all these under here. So at some point these are all going to get harvesters and planters on the ones that need it. These 3 don't need planters, which is why they're together. The melon, pumpkin and reeds don't need planters, so this side won't need planters, but all the rest will. I know the cotton shouldn't need planters, if it does work at all. Most of these need planters, harvesters, fertilisers, and then the tree farm's going to be here. I'm not sure whether we get to expand the tree farm to make it a bigger one. At the minute I think it's set to 7x7, is it? But that's all just set up. That's just a lot of off-camera work I've done, ready for when we can start adding machinery to this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh no, it is a 9x9. That's a 9x9 as well. How come it looks small in them? Is it just offset? What? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, it is the same size, just looks smaller. Weird. Okay, so that's all set up, ready for when we can make stuff. And what I've done is I've just left a little bit of the glass uncovered, so if I do need any for now, which I'm probably not going to need any, if I do need any of these items I can just jump in there without having to break any glass. But once we've got the machine set up, I'll be covering this glass up, so these will be fully concealed so no mobs can jump on them. And this place, if I put my F7 on for a second, which it actually is on, I keep meaning to turn that off when I'm recording, and someone has asked me, and it's something that winds me up as well. I've got my F7 on the minute. You can see where mobs can spawn. You can see that mobs cannot spawn anywhere in here. Mobs don't spawn on tilled ground, by the way. Quite useful. Mobs can't spawn anywhere here, so that's pretty cool. Turn F7 off, because it does look tatty when I'm recording. I keep forgetting to turn it off. Another thing I want to make actually is a magnum torch. I think I've mentioned it. It's pretty strong. Magnum torch. It takes 5 of these chandeliers, potion of regen, potion of healing, so I can't make it until I've got a blaze rod, which is holding me back. I'll get back to that in a minute. And 5 chandeliers, each one takes gold and diamonds. So it takes 5 diamonds to make, but that thing there, mobs cannot spawn within 64 blocks of it. I don't know if it's a 64 radius, which would mean 128 square, or if it's just 64 from this point of that. So that's 4 chunks. If it's a 64 radius, that's 4 chunks each direction, and right down to bedrock just about. If you were up here, well, it'll take me down to like level 6. No mobs will be able to spawn around here. So that's quite insane. Quite insane. This here has got plenty of lava in, and I've just been making, as you can see, some more gold. I know I can bang that tin in there, and I think I'll sleep. So that's what I've been getting on with. I actually planned to do a second Thaumcraft episode yesterday to go after the first one, because I want to get on with some Thaum tools and stuff. I just never got around to it because that took me absolutely hours. I was just like watching TV and stuff while I was doing it, taking it a bit easy, but it took me a lot longer than I planned it to. One other thing of note is I enchanted that sword again and got bad enchant, so I scrubbed it off. I've got them 2 picks in there because I'm going to pull the fortune off them at some point when I get either a division sigil or a disenchanter. And because I had some thaumium ingots from loots, I just put thaumium ingots in the usual armor legs pattern, and I give them an enchant when I had 30 levels. And I got protection 4, repair 2 and haste 3. Don't think the haste does anything on the pants, but protection 4 and repair 2 are awesome. So there we go. I could do with protection on them, but that's what I'm going to go with my leggings. Same with my chest, and Thaumcraft goggles is what I'm going to go with. If I've not mentioned on camera, there's certain things I'm not going to make in this series. MPS power suit is one of them, just because it's really strong and I've done it in the last few seasons. And quarries is another one, which I think I've already mentioned. Right, thermal. Let's start making these then. Should I make these off camera? Tell you what, the episodes have been getting a bit long and I've got quite a lot to get through, so what I'm going to do is, it's all pretty basic stuff. Copper, redstone, bricks, flint. I might make a sawmill while I'm at it. Invar, I'll make the invar on camera because you're going to need to see how I do that. We'll actually make the powered furnace and the pulverizer first. No, I've actually given myself a bit of an issue there. I've got some ferrous. I think I've got some ferrous. Oh, yeah, I've got 2 bits of ferrous. Oh, okay, so I'm going to have to use a pulverizer on that. So I need to make the pulverizer and the powered furnace first and get a bit of power into them. So I'll start with them. I'll be back in a bit. So I made the pulverizer and the powered furnace. I can put power into the pulverizer using my force engine. Should fill that up nice and quick. So I can bang that ferrous ore in there. I'm going to have to turn that into ferrous dust. Now, what I'm also going to want to do though is I'm going to want to be able to wrench this engine around there. So I've not made a wrench yet. So it's time to make my trusty Omni wrench. Omni needs 1 gold, 2 diamonds and a cyan wool. Wonderful. Have I got any wool? I've got a bit of white wool, so it's minium stone to the rescue. Now, minium stone, by the way, I needed a lot of glass over there. What I did to get glass was, if you put a minium stone with cobble, gets your grass blocks. Do that again, gets you sand. And then I cook the sand up in the furnace there. Make it into glass. So that's how I've got all my glass for that, because I didn't want to go digging up a desert, and I hadn't found a desert close by anyway. So that's getting the ferrous on the go. Oh, sorry. What I can also do with the medium stone is you can use that to change wool colours. So I need to cycle this through to cyan. Next one, no, next one. There it is. Cyan wool, wonderful. Come here, you. And our gold is over there still. I can't believe I didn't bring the gold back. Let's go get that quick. Boing, boing. Thank you. That's all done. Let's stick all that back with me. Wonderful, that smeltery for getting things going. But now I've made a pulverizer, probably I'm going to set up something over here. So let's just do this in this crafting bench so it's out of the way. Cyan wool, 1 gold ingot, 2 diamonds, prototype Omni wrench, well worth spending the diamonds on that. That's a really nice bit of kit. The three things what we can do now is we can wrench that and it'll face there now instead. So what we can do with that is actually need to wrench it back. What I need to do is turn some iron back into dust as well, don't I? I might be doing this wrong. If I'm doing this wrong, I should cut the camera and do it right, but I'm probably not going to bother. I'm just going to do it like this. 2 more of them. Get the same amount. So that'll get us 4 pulverized iron, 4 ferrous metal. That's not going to be the right amount. I think it's 2 of them for every one of them. Let's see. And now in my little crafting square up here, it is, look, so it's 2 of them. That gets me invar blend. So I need to make another 4 iron dust. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 iron dust. I make all that into invar blend. So then we can put the invar blend in the powered furnace. So now I can wrench that over there and put some power into that. Oops. I'm so tight with my power, I could just leave this on. But let's scrape every last MJ power out of what I'm doing. So there we go. That gets us 3. 1 more. That's nearly full, so I can turn that off. So tight. So tight. I've got all this excess power. I could just blow some of that away, but there's no point in throwing it away, is there? Gets me loads of invar. So that'll do me for a while. So 2 invar, and then the other thing we're going to need for these set of machines, if you look at the ones we need now, they're all actually the same. We've got induction smelter, which uses the invar, but everything else there, copper, coils, bucket, and then we've got magma crucible that uses this exactly the same apart from nether brick in place of the invar, and then liquid transposer again exactly the same, it uses glass instead of the invar. So I did have glass there, I just messed it up. What we need to do is make some nether brick. We haven't found a nether fortress yet, but what we can do is we can just put some netherrack into the iron furnace, and that'll cook it into little single nether bricks. So we're going to have to put 8 in there, because we're going to want 8 of these nether bricks, and I'll get back to that in a second when I made the rest. So there, oops, there. So it's only these 2 side ones that change. So first of all, 2 glass gets me a liquid transposer, then 2 invar gets me induction smelter, and finally, wait for these, and that's going to get us the other thing we need, nether brick. So 4 of them, we'll wait for the 4, but 4 of them in your crafting square gets you a nether brick. So that's a way of making nether bricks without finding a fortress. You just need some nether rack, and it's all good, all good. So now we can start looking at making the things we need for energy cell. So I'm going to want some obsidian. I'm going to start with 16 obsidian, and I'm going to pulverize that. Make that into pulverized obsidian. So I'm probably going to want to wrench this round again, put some more power into the pulverizer. I'm also going to make some redstone conduits here. So I've decided to have this. Once we've got the energy cell, the next thing I'll be making is redstone conduit, so we can actually have all these machines lined up and all powered at the same time, rather than having to mess around like this. But this is just the way I start up, so I'm not being energy inefficient. So that's making us pulverized obsidian. What we're going to use to put with that is lead, which we haven't sorted out yet. So the next machine we're going to need is the induction smelter. There we go. Let's get all the nether brick sorted. Boop. And now we can make that into a magma crucible. Wonderful. So, sorry, I thought it was the induction smelter I was waiting on. So that for now can go there. That is going to get our... let me just put them ingots away. Kind of frantic and hectic, but I think you're kind of used to that from me by now. Process some lead ore as well. Scandalous, wasting power. So how much was that used? So it's used quite a lot of the milk, so I was nearly out of milk there. So what I'm going to do off camera is I'm just going to get a few things in milk and fill that up, because that's going to be an issue if I don't keep an eye on that. I will set something up automated for the milk until we can do it even better with the crushed ice, but that's well down the line when we get into bees. So yeah, because I'm not going to use quarries, the two ways. Oh, I've only got one bucket, that's a shame. Can I put some more lava in there now I've made some stuff? I can. Will you fit in there as well? No, okay, that's full. I'll leave that one in there for later. Because I'm not going to use quarries, the two ways I'm going to get resources are bees. I ain't done bees since my beginner's guide. It's something I like a lot, and because we haven't had extra bees in the last couple of packs, I've not really got into bees much. So I'll be doing most of my resources from bees. So I'm going to do iron bees, copper bees, gold bees, all the bees. And I'm also going to do the laser drill from Man Factory. That's my plan anyway. That's my plan for fun, is the expensive laser drill. 16 pulverized obsidian, wonderful. Let's pulverize some lead as well. And while we're waiting, we can turn that round, get a bit of power into here ready for when we're going to make some hardened glass. And we need to sort the silver out as well, because we need electrum. So I'm going to have to pulverize that silver ore as well. Of course, the silver and the lead doesn't work in the smeltery, which is why it's still in ore form and not made into ingots yet. There we go, that's full. Turn that back round. Top that back up. Now, I think that does work with it as... yeah, it does. Cool. That works with it as pulverized. You don't have to make it into ingots. Normally, I already have it as ingots, so I just chuck the pulverized obsidian with lead ingots in there. But as it works with pulverized, I might as well just chuck it in like that. And there's our next two things on the go: hardened glass. So we'll make all that up. Then the next thing is going to be silver and the gold to make electrum, is what we're going to need next. So I might as well pulverize all that while it's there. I'll break the camera a bit. I'll be back when this silver ore is into pulverized form. And I'm back again, and the pulverized silver didn't actually work in there, so I've had to make the silver into ingots, so that will work. Awesome. So I'm going to make... that should get us 16 electrum ingots, which should go quite a long way for now. I've just made all the lead into ingots as well. Now I'll just sidetrack myself something a little bit while I remember. I think it was Dexter who mentioned these iron spikes is something I've been meaning to use for a long time. I always forget, so just while I remembered, I just quickly made some. They're quite expensive. 3 iron swords, 3 iron ingots, iron blocks, so it's like 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 18, well, that's not that expensive, is it? 18 iron ingots and a little bit of wood. And get you 4 of these iron spikes, really good for building, because you can make tower tops look actually pointed, which I should have used on my other build probably, but on the last server. But also damages stuff. So instead of having grinders, I may use these in my mob spawners this server, just to make it a bit different. So still have the soul shards, still have the redneck control, but instead of using grinders to actually kill, of course that won't get me mob essence, so I may still use the grinders, but I might use these. But I think the mob essence is nice to have. Anyway, just wanted to show you that. This is run out of power. Let's turn that around, put a little bit more power into there. That's enough. Right, so that's out of power, that's okay. I've got all my lead. That's out of power, that's okay, because we're going to break them two in a minute. So lead can go in there for now. So what do we need next? Well, what we need to do now is we need to make a frame. 1, 2, oops, 2, 3, 4, and that's going to need a diamond as well. Now, as you can see, I've been in the hollow hill, the big hill, and now I've got full look at my pick. I have been getting some of the diamonds and emeralds from up in the roof there, so I've got quite a few diamonds and emeralds, which is quite nice. So if you remember, I didn't get any of them until I'd got full look on the pick, because obviously you get more. Right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use my wrench. I'm going to shift right click and pop them two out of the way. And now it's time for these two. Magma Crucible, Liquid Transposer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the Magma Crucible here, and I'm going to put the Liquid Transposer here again, so they can both be powered. But what we're going to have to do this time, so let me start putting some power into that Magma Crucible, because it's going to take a lot. It's going to take a lot. What we need in there is 40 redstone into liquid redstone. So that's going to take quite a lot of power. So that can be pumping into there for now. How's my milk doing? My milk's doing fine. What I'm going to make is a bit of copper. Still don't know what's in which chest yet. 2 bits of copper, and I'll use 1 bit of this hardened glass to make us some liquid ducts. And what I can do now is I can just pop a liquid duct on there, and that'll send the liquid redstone into the liquid transposer. So once we've got the power done this side, we can switch the engine to that side, and that'll give us our full energy cell. Wonderful. And then while I'm doing this, might as well make, so we need let's go with two of them. Gets us some empty energy conduit, so 8 of them, so that's going to need another 16 liquid redstone, because each energy conduit takes 2 liquid redstone to make it into actual energy conduit. So we'll bang that 16 in there as well. You see this is barely keeping up, and that's 10 MJ a tick. You can see this is using quite a lot of power to make this liquid redstone. That's going in there nicely. So now it's just a matter of waiting around a bit. In fact, I'll let that do its cycle. I'll switch that to power. I'll get some power in here. I'll be back when that's ready. Here we are then. I've got power in there, and I put the energy cell frame back in because I've got plenty of redstone conduit in there, liquid redstone. I put them conduit in there as well. I should admit that. It takes, I checked in the recipes list there. It takes 1600 MJ, wherever it is, there it is, 1600 MJ, and they take 80 each, and I had about 3000 MJ in there, so that should be enough for some of this, most of it maybe. But once we've got this done, we can actually start putting power in. Now, one of the issue I had, I nearly ran out of milk, so one other thing I want to make is, with 4 of these things, 4 hardened glass in a circle, and 1 tin ingot, gets me a portable tank. And what I can do with a portable tank is, I can check for mobs, because it's night time. Oh, I had to put a fence around that, by the way. I went through the portal, and creeper had gone through, and blew up and killed the portal. I had no way of getting back, so I had to use TPX, which I can because I'm an op. So I had to do TPX 0 to teleport me back to spawn. So I put a fence around there to stop mobs walking through. Bastard thing. I'm not sure you're meant to get out if you can't use TPX. But I guess if you've got a flint and steel with you, you could relight it. But I didn't have a flint and steel with me. Anyway, I'm getting off target a bit. So now with our bucket, what we can do is we can just fill this up by milking a cow manually for now, but we'll be doing this later on with a rancher, I guess. And now what we've got there is a full shift right click with your Omni wrench, and I'll put that bucket of milk in there first just so it's used up. Now what we can do is we can drop that on top of there like so, and then give it a right click with the Omni wrench to make it so it's them little tabs are orange, so that's output. So now what that's going to do is it's going to use nearly all that. Well, that's cool. Let's fill it up again. Might as well. What are you doing up there, cow? Yeah, let's fill it up again. So now when it comes to filling up my redstone energy cell, I can keep an eye on the milk and know that I'm getting more efficient power out of my engine there, because of course if the milk runs out, then the engine's just going to keep going. But instead of going at the 10 mj, it'll just go at the 4 mj. So I want to be able to, I want a visual indicator of how much milk's in there. So if I have that there, at least I can see that. What have we got in here then? There's our energy cell frame done. Wonderful. And we need one other thing. We need, for our energy cell, we need a conductance coil in the bottom there. Redstone conductance coil, so that's electrum with redstone. Let's get that guy made. Well, one thing I want to do as well, if I remember, is click them 3 little dots there, inventory settings, and I'm going to change that shortcut key, because that's the thing that I always press in my inventory, it makes a mess of things. And I'm going to change it to something that I don't use, so I'm just going to change it to the apostrophe. There we go. And now I won't accidentally sort my inventory when I don't want to. Conductance coil, energy conduit, 3 electrum ingots, and the lead ingots I prepared earlier. Gets us, hooray, redstone energy cell. Now I can't believe it, but that's took about 30 minutes to get to this point of the video. I thought it'd take like 5 minutes to get one of these made, but there we go. Redstone energy cell, we can start filling that up now. And then we've got good power. Cool, that's used all them conduits, so that's nice. What we can do now then is, again, this is all going to be a bit temporary, but I'm going to let that force energy drain out by trying to fill this up. And then I'm going to work out where to put these machines so we can actually use them all the time. That's what I've got the bit of energy conduit for. So yeah, that's that bit of the video done. What else did I want to show you? Well, I've got an issue, and it's something why I was going to do another Thaumcraft issue, episode yesterday. I need blaze powder. I've not got any, and it's starting to hold me back a bit. Let's just put all that in there for now. That can go on the tool rack. Yeah, that can go in there as well. You can go on the tool rack for now until I get somewhere safe to put you. There we go. I have got an issue. If you look at my gems chest, I've got nearly 2 stacks of ender pearls now, because every time I see an ender pearl, I give him a whack with iron stab, and of course, because it's got looting 3, I've got quite a lot of ender pearls. I could start making tesseracts, I guess, and other stuff that use ender pearls, but what I like to use my first ender pearls for is to get into the end, so I can have then an unlimited supply of ender pearls. But for that, I need ender eyes. Ender eyes need blaze rods, blaze powder. Where are you? Shapeless. There we go. There's blaze powder, and I've not got any blaze powder yet, of course, because I need blaze rods. And I hadn't found a what do you call it yet? Nether fortress. So that's starting to hold me back now. So I need to do some exploring in the Nether to try and find a Nether fortress. And the reason why I wanted to do the Thaumcraft research is because I want to get a Sword of the Condor. So that's my aim for the Thaumcraft research. Sword of the Condor, which lets you fly. By right clicking that, you can actually fly with that. So that's going to be my mode of flight for this season. If it works nice, if it don't work nice, I might make the thermostatic harness as well. Yeah, there we go. So I'm going to cut the camera for now. I'm going to do a bit of exploring in the Nether and see if I can find a Nether fortress. And I'll be back when I've found one, or when I've given up and I decide to do something else. See you in a bit. Well, here we are in the Nether, and I've come quite a long way. You can see the portal is 300 meters that way. You can see my path there. I came across west, and then I came far enough west. I started seeing this structure. You see it to the west of me there. You can there's clearly another fortress. So yeah, there's actually one further south as well. If I come back down here a second, let's just run down here as quick as I can. Now the reason why I went west is because I think it was the direction I'd gone least when I was exploring the day. See down there at the bottom, there's another fortress down there as well. So if I'm unlucky up here, I've at least got one down there. And if you look at my inventory, you can see, so there's my path back to the portal. Look at my inventory. You can see I've got all kind of shit. I've got some cobalt, which is nice, and a bit of ardite. I did mine a couple of bits of stuff by mistake, so I just put them back into the walls. when I was cutting through, which did aggro zombie pigmen onto me a couple of times. I also shot a zombie pigman while I was trying to shoot a ghast, because I was out in the open a bit, right back up there. So I had to fight a few zombie pigmen off. I don't think I got any loot off them. A couple of spiders have jumped me. I dug into lava at one point and was down to half a heart, which I should have probably recorded, but luckily I survived. Similar to what I did in the last season, as soon as I cut into lava, I tried filling the gap and I missed, so lava poured onto me, so I just dug sideways until I was safe and just made myself a little hole, so if I did die, all my shit would have been together. But yeah, as you see, my inventory is full. Before I set off, I made a linking book and an unlinked book, so what I can do is, if you come around this where I came, it's where I've got a bit of there was a bit of iodite there. There's a couple of bits of cobalt in here as well that I've covered the gaps I cut. But if you come over here, that's a bit of lapis, so I left it. Come over here. Oh, look at that, blazes. Wonderful. What I can do then is I can put my book down there. That'll get me back home. And I can make my new linking book here. I'll jump back into the overworld, and the linking book can go on the lectern there. So I've got a book to the nether, wonderful. I'm just going to empty my inventory and go back in there, and I'm just going to kill a couple of things and then I'll wrap up the episode up. So I think the episode's about 38 minutes now, so I'm going to wrap it up by about 40. So I found somewhere for all this. My inventory issues, my storage issues are a bit bad at the minute. I need to really get on with sorting something out with it. What netherrack can go there? I've probably been some of that netherrack, to be honest. This ash, quite good for fractus and permutatio aspects. For found craft. String, quartz, gunpowder, and last but not least, magic, there we go, force gem. So how's this doing? It's just what I would look. I put a couple more of them force shards in. So it's about halfway through the milk. And how much power we got? That's getting there, isn't it? That's nice. So that's going very well. I'll leave that again. Let's head back into the nether. Let's get our first blaze rods. Hello, Mr. Blaze. Set me on fire. Not very nice, is it? There we go, first blaze rod. So what I should really do with the first blaze rod is, well, what I should really do here actually, before I do anything else, is make a waypoint book. Done. In fact, waypoints book edit. Turn that off in the overworld. There we go. Done. So that only shows in the nether. And now it's time to start exploring around. Try and find a blaze spawner. What I should really do with this first blaze rod is make a fire resist potion. Very dark in here, isn't it? My brightness is as bright as it can go, just so you know. Options, video settings, brightness as bright as I can get it. It's still extremely dark in here, so it's really dark for me, so it must be terrible on YouTube. So I apologise profusely for that. Don't like gas, I'm gonna shoot him right in the face. Get a dick gassed. Right. Let's have a little nosy around then. Danger. Don't like that way. Imps. I'm going to have to do something with my brightness, I think, aren't I? This is just far too dark. Far too dark, I can't see anything. I think I've kind of been spoilt by wearing the night vision. Were they off? Weirdos. Going for a jog. I think I'm possibly being a little bit spoilt nether water there, not that I need it anymore, but a little bit spoilt by the night vision goggles from MPS. Hello, magma cube. Oh shit, I lost spider. Piss off, spider. Oh, I've fallen. Where'd the magma cube go? I think I'll leave him down there. So a little look up here. Well, there we go. I'll wrap it up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get back. I'm out of torches as well, so I can't see anything. So I'm going to wrap up the episode there. When I get back, I'm going to make myself a brewing stand. Vanilla. Item. Come on, blaze rod. Show me what you can go in. So we've got just 3 bits of cobble. Make myself a brewing stand and make some fire resist potions. I'm going to come back, find some blaze rods and kill a few when I've got a fire resist potion on. Oh shit. So then I won't burn. Like I am doing. Ah, I've got 8 blaze rods, that's quite nice, isn't it? And I'll probably make myself an ender pouch and an ender bag so I can start safely carrying some stuff without fear of losing it when the fire comes. And I also need to find my way back because I'm already lost. So as always, thank you very much for watching. I hope it's entertaining and I hope you join me next time. Cheers. Bye.